What's up?
Well, we're cancelled.
Who's cancelled?
We and everything. At one point in my past, I did something wrong, and my whole future deserves to be obliterated.
Yeah, but the question is, was it really wrong? Or was it wrong from today's perception? Or was it might be wrong, but we can't really know what the intentions were? No, the intentions were absolutely wrong.
At one point in my life, I did something that might have offended somebody someplace today, and I need to be crucified and whipped.
Absolutely. We need to throw very bad things at you, starting with words. Then if you have like a statue or something, we need to bring it down.
Yeah, of course.
If there's like a picture of you somewhere, we need to spray paint over it.
Oh no.
If there's like piece of content like a video or text with you, it has to be withdrawn from every single media.
Of course.
Ever, regardless of the fact that it's not only in the country that is where people complain about these things.
Memory of me deserves to be eradicated because I haven't shown my best face at all times, everywhere, and so on. And this public confession is my apology to everyone who I have ever offended. And that is not true. I'm not apologizing for anything.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting the world we live in, where people talk about free speech.
Free. It's
the most ridiculous concept ever. You know, it kind of sucks that we grew up, kind of believing a fairy tale.
That
system works.
I wouldn't say it like that. I would say that parts of the system showed different kinds of effectiveness, and major parts of the system are starting to crumble. I mean, they were always sort of were rickety-rackety and so on, but they're becoming more crumbly now.
Rickety-rackety. Crumbly.
Yeah. Those are academic words.
Absolutely. Your eloquence is beyond me.
Beyond rickety.
Beyond rickety. I beseech you to continue using...
You besiege me?
Yes.
With a catapult, what? With a ballista? Or do you beseech me?
I beseech you.
Okay.
It sounded like a j, but it's actually ch.
Okay.
I beseech you.
Anyway.
I siege. I siege your castle.
Yeah.
I besiege your castle.
Castle.
I besiege your show until it's cancelled. I besiege your life until you're crucified.
Until you break down and you kept apologizing.
You know what strikes me the most?
This.
Content creators who are now apologetic because they want to be politically correct. You know?
Okay.
Because they want to keep their audience.
Okay. You clearly haven't watched the video that I had in mind.
You are losing your face.
My face?
Yeah. Your good face.
I never had a good face. And with this 4K camera, it's more apparent than ever.
It's not recording in 4K. It's recording full HD, but with a decent frame rate.
Okay, but with mole emphasis and zift emphasis. Anyway, the backdrop to this episode, you know how everybody's complaining that 2020 can't be worse? Well, it got considerably that worse for me.
Since that sentence was said, that it cannot be worse. Because before that,
yeah,
you still haven't, USA didn't explode yet.
Yes, yeah.
and then it did. It exploded.
And then it did. And the ripples are, going through the entire world. And they're felt in part here, not too much, but as I like to say, everything that affects the US affects the world, Well, it's the sad reality, because they have such influence over the entertainment industry. So, one of my favorite YouTubers is cancelled.
Jenna Marbles.
The very same.
I don't think she's canceled. I think she stopped posting.
Okay, but she didn't just stop posting. She wasn't like, oh well, I'm living on indefinite hiatus. Bye. No, she was like, guys, you keep tweeting my old videos at me, telling me how they hurt you, how they offended you. I'm so sorry. I have privated those videos. I shouldn't have said those things. I should not have done those things. Yeah, that is my reaction. But okay, just a little bit of a background.
I'm not that person today that I was yesterday. Even though when you're speaking about your accomplishments, you don't say that.
Okay, you have
nobody does.
Yeah. It's a pretty standard fare of apology video, but I have been following Jenna for a long time, and I know that she means every word. So it's not one of those fake.
You know she means every word.
Well, okay.
Oh, you're a true fan.
Yeah, I am. I don't deny it.
You're like Jenna Marbles.
Not that much. Not that far. Not that far. But
I wish you were a cat so that I can adopt you.
They don't have a cat.
Sorry?
They don't have a cat.
Who doesn't have a cat?
Jenna.
So what?
So how would she adopt me?
I was impersonating you. Speaking to Jenna, I wish you were a cat so that I can adopt you, so that we can be together forever.
Okay, that sounds creepy. And what would they do? What would they do with a cat Jenna?
Like, I don't know, just like
what?
Hang out.
You know that cats are sort of underwhelming when it comes to hanging out. I mean, they're cool. It's nice to pet them, but
yeah. So she wouldn't bother you.
Okay. I haven't been prepared for this. Okay.
Nobody said creepy alert. No.
Okay. Anywho, thing is, when you're a YouTuber, you will have your fair share of people telling you, oh, your content has helped me through rough times. This is true for every...
You will also get haters, which we still don't have in this channel, but there will be.
Haters? Haters?
Yeah.
Okay.
Haters. Sorry.
Okay.
I have to be very, 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 very clear when I'm speaking to you.
Well, I don't know what a hair is.
Hater.
Okay, fine. I got it now. So
it's Canadian.
Why would anyone be Canadian? Anywho. Sorry, Crunch.
Sorry, Captain.
Yeah, sorry, Captain.
Is he Canadian? He's from Canada.
I think so.
I don't think so. Sorry, Captain.
We don't know from whence you hail.
From whence you came, you shall remain.
Anyway, you will get a lot of such comments. Your content has helped me through rough times.
And hair.
Jenna's content was what helped me through my rough time, and also a couple of other YouTubers.
I hate the way you pronounce through, because you say
through.
True. Yeah, you say true. It's like something is true, like the truth. But you should say through.
Okay, but you say strength.
What?
When you say strength, you say strength.
Who says that?
You.
When did I say strength?
I will watch all of her videos and I will find the instances.
Yeah, and this is exactly how the cancel mob works. They pick their victim, their target, and then they go and watch every single videos 7, 10, 15 years in the past.
I'm not obsessed. I'm just malicious and intent on destroying other people.
Which is something you probably have in common with the cancel mob. Because what else could be the driving force of such idiocy?
Idiocy. The driving force behind idiocy is like Scooby Gang removing a mask.
But
it's idiocy. Let me continue with my story. So anyways.
I'm going to leave the scene right now so that he can continue with his story.
Come back. So anyway, she basically canceled herself because people kept tweeting her past videos at her, this is racist and so on.
Canceling myself.
What was racist? It was her wearing blackface.
Okay. What?
Okay, imagine you hear Jenna Marbles was wearing blackface. What do you imagine?
Jenna Marbles wearing a blackface.
Wearing blackface.
I don't know, like she took black paint and...
Okay. How I imagine blackface is like black paint, then like thick lips, like bulging white eyes, and maybe even some bad staring.
He was accusing me of creepiness.
No,
I just imagine the black face like with black paint, and you imagine a black face with huge eyes, with floating lips. You crazy, man.
We can't publish this now, ever.
Why?
Okay. Guys, bear in mind that M does not know what blackface is. Do you want me to show you? We have to have a talk. I will.
Okay, so there's a slang that I'm not aware of.
Very much so.
Well, okay, teach me the Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay, anyway, she was accused of doing...
Charleston dance. What was it?
Yeah, you didn't even... Okay, this is blackface. Can you see the issue?
It's like in old American cartoons, like the way they used to depict black people.
Yeah, but in America, those are considered racist.
Well,
I wonder why.
I wonder why, exactly. It's ridiculous.
Anywho, she was accused of doing blackface, and she herself calls it blackface because she was impersonating Nicki Minaj. So she put on like a bright pink wig. She put black paint on her, but
if you're a white person impersonating a black person in the United States, and something like that is available to somebody in 2020 who's from United States,
the problem is that is automatically considered blackface now, even though she wasn't stereotyping black people. She wasn't doing it to mock.
Of course she wasn't.
Black people.
Why would she?
Precisely. That would be like your online suicide anyway. She was doing it to impersonate a very specific person. In the same way she acted the accent of Sarah Palin. In the same way she wore a wig for her.
She wasn't a racist for imitating Sarah Palin.
Yeah, or...
Is it Palin or Paulin?
I think it's Palin.
She's like Alaska governor.
Yeah. I find her very sweet. Maybe not the best person to lead the country, but I find her very endearing.
I'm not that into American politics.
I wasn't.
Except the fact that I can't organically mention the Clinton family without puking. But it's...
Yeah, likewise.
Well,
anyway, she called it a blackface, which is, again, something I wholeheartedly disagree on because, again, she was...
Does that mean you're for Trump? Sorry.
Okay, I think that we are wading very deep into... This has turned into a political podcast territory.
Yeah, because everything nowadays in discussions between people who live in the United States is very, like, stereotypic. Like, anything you say, you're immediately tagged. Like, you mentioned Sarah Palin or Palin, whatever... He must be a Trump supporter, you know, like, or me. I said that I dislike the Clintons. He must be a Trump supporter. Or if I said Trump is an idiot,
pro-slavery.
Yeah. If I said Trump is an idiot, people be like, he is pro. What is it, Joe Biden? And which couldn't be more ridiculous. But that's the thing, guys. That's the thing. Joe Biden, who wrote nice words for the book published by Hashim Tachi, who is like a war criminal leading Kosovo right now. I mean, guys, couldn't you just stop with this madness?
In any case, the cancel culture is very problematic. Why?
Can I interrupt you again?
Sorry? Okay. Okay, so there's this YouTuber that I like a lot, Jenna Marbles. So anyway, this girl was making the harmless sort of content for the past 5 years, and the content she was making beforehand could at worst be described maybe in poor taste, like not something you would let your kids watch.
But hold on, did anybody complain then?
You know, they might have, but I don't think that they have complained in the way they complain now.
Because now they have a platform, they have an army of crazed people.
Yeah. And everything's racist, and if you have passed by a race... By the way, what I hate the most is that it seems that people don't really understand what racism is. Racism is believing that generally your race is of inherent more value than other races.
Yeah, like you're superior because you are of that race and they're of some other race.
And there are... Which is something that, you know, I truly believe that not a lot people believe. I think that there are a lot more people than their online presence would make you believe, because of course that you're not going to say, well, I think that blacks should serve us, because of course you're not going to say it like that. But I also don't think that everything's and everyone's a racist, and that opposing this crazy left narrative makes you a racist, that you want to be a slave owner, that you want to reinstitute,
It's
blah,
so
blah, blah.
ridiculous. You know, there's obviously racism.
Of course.
It's obvious. There are obviously people who think like that. It's okay, and I kind of don't dig this contradictory ideology when, for example, people in the United States tend to mock Asians in a way. Sometimes from this perspective or that perspective, you know, sometimes being like, for every smart kid there's a smart kid in Asia that does it better. You know, things like that, or like. It is also a form of racism, you know? It really is. Even though it's the other way around. It's not like you think you're superior. It's like you're kind of envious that he's superior.
Yeah.
And you attribute that to things like poor conditions that force people to work more, which kind of still puts you in the superior spot. It's still racism. That's the thing.
I wouldn't really say maybe superior, but simply better at a certain thing. You know, because let me put it, you're better at computer things than I am.
Yes, I am.
But I wouldn't say that you're superior, because that word sort of carries a bad connotation, like that you look down on me because I messed up during our short working hours. But thing is, also, I must say that I dislike the concept of cultural appropriation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know that there are some instances where it is pretty clear and obvious and, problematic. But if, for example, Katy Perry starts wearing braids, she's not... is that cultural appropriation? I don't think it is. I mean, she's simply admiring a part of other people's culture, for example. Imagine you see...
Honestly, I think it's ridiculous to even comment on that.
Yeah.
Like, wear whatever you want.
Yeah, but...
You like it? Wear it.
But
your thing.
Yeah, but for example, people... she wore, for example, a geisha costume at one of her concerts.
Was that said to be racist?
Of course!
It was?
Yeah! And
why?
I don't know. Geisha costumes are beautiful. I mean, if I were a girl, why not?
Wow, but
dress in a kimono because it's pretty.
It's like this thing is giving wings to people who just want to harass others.
Yeah.
What's wrong with
that's
people? That's
issue.
Everything wrong with the world right now.
Yeah,
why are you harassing other people? Let live and let live. Wow. This concept is crazy to me. Like, I don't understand racism in terms of I don't understand why, like, what's the motivation behind racism? I don't understand. I can't, because I can't feel it myself.
Yeah.
I can't look at another human being and think like I'm superior in any way.
Yeah.
I just can't, and it doesn't work for me.
But then you see politicians.
Exactly. Well, no.
The only approved racism is politicianism.
Political racism. Politicacism.
Political racism sounds very problematic, and and I'm doing a veto on that suggestion.
Okay. Fair enough. I withdraw. But the point is, let's talk about the other part. Like, I also can't understand why people get so obsessed. Like, I get it. People sometimes tend to explain these things like, you have to understand, in the United States there was slavery.
Yeah.
You know, and I get it. It's awful in every single sense.
Yeah.
But it doesn't exist today. It exists.
Yeah, slavery. Yeah, does not. I mean, you have human trafficking, but that's
for starters.
Par for the course.
And it kind of bothers me that people take this initiative, take this thing that is currently mainstream, you know, and push it so hard, completely ignoring things that are 15 million times worse.
Oh yeah.
That they actually condone.
Oh yeah.
And that's my biggest problem. Like, okay, have your opinion. You may think this is race. It's your problem if you think it, because I have the right to say, do, wear, not wear, dress, not dress. That's my thing. This is your thing. Think what you want. As long as you're not harassing me. If you're harassing me, that's problem number one.
Yeah.
And problem number two is, by pushing this so hard, you're making the real problems of the world, you're marginalizing them. Because we can't...
Plus creating an additional big problem.
Well, not to mention that there's going to be more consequences to you harassing people. It's like, let's cancel police. Who's going to protect you from criminals then?
Okay, I have to share
Question mark, bing, bing.
I have to share one bright moment from Twitter.
Okay.
This was top level intelligence dump stat. Okay.
Sorry, I got heated up.
No.
I need to,
yeah, we are pretty much controlling ourselves when we discuss this.
Take a chill pill.
I have this morbid fascination with Chaz or CHOP, that is Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, or Capitol Hill ongoing protests, as they were called later when they realized that they were basically performing a secession on the territory of the United States.
They're kind of out of
focus
or something.
Why are you canceling me?
Fix this.
Why are you canceling me?
Well, it has begun.
Blur the B.
It's like less and less of B.
Blur the B. Let's make that a trending hashtag. Blur the B.
And then just at the very end, B has cancelled himself.
Yeah. And there's just like hovering glasses in the air. So anyway, I kept following Chop or Chaz because, okay, you guys kicked out the police of that neighborhood. Let's see what happens. And reality strikes. Man was shot. He bled to death because the emergency services couldn't get to him because they cannot approach an area that police force does not secure. So you can't simply approach because then you get the risk of you getting shot. And they found a suitcase with a body in it in the river, very close to Chop/Chaz and so on. And somebody on Twitter said, this is what happens when you push out the police, because you need police to prevent crimes. And this person actually said, well, I don't know. I thought that people shouldn't do crimes because they're wrong.
Yes.
That person...
And all scientists in the world work for the benefit of humankind. And all doctors of the world work for the benefit of everyone.
All priests are holy.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's holy. Everybody's good, actually. You're just everything you're seeing, the crime and all that, it's make-believe.
That person did not have rosy glasses. They had rosy glass eyeballs. I never saw such...
Rosy heart.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of admire them in the sense of I wish I kept that idiotic childish innocence that I once had, that didn't turn me into this cynical wreck.
Mm-hmm.
But the sooner when a child is innocent and, well, stupid, it generally doesn't cause too much trouble because you teach it the other way, because otherwise it will get in a lot of danger. But if you're a grown person who actually thinks that people will abstain from crimes because they're wrong, oh boy, are you in for a bad surprise. Because there are quite a lot of people who won't be like, oh gosh darn it, maybe I shouldn't shoot my business competitor. They will be like, now I can shoot my business competitor.
Imagine saying something like that in the midst of the fact that the United States is exporting prisoners for not having enough room in jails. And you can imagine how many prisoners there is in the United States of America.
It's a budding industry.
The thing is, the best way to describe what's happening is you have people protesting, defund, cancel police, and then something happens in front, and they immediately start, where's the police? Call the police!
I must say that people who, I hate saying this out loud, because I know that there are people who like me and who will get hurt by this, but I have to say it. Claiming that you should defund the police and put those funds into education and welfare, guys, it is a noble cause. But that is sort of like saying, if my child runs to the streets, I won't spank him or her. I'll just explain to him or her that it's a wrong thing to do. It sounds nice. But children or people who never grew up don't really understand such concepts. you know,
I mean, guys, we're talking about democracy here, and you have in the elections in the United States, you constantly have battles between two people. How is that democracy? Where are your representatives actually doing something to solve?
There are more than
no.
I mean, technically,
but that's the problem. I think people keep buying what's being sold to them, what's being served to them on a silver platter, and platter. I apologize.
Plateau.
And they simply don't really focus on solving the real problems until like things like this happen that push things into motion, and then it's anarchy, and then it's nothing is really organized. Everybody's for themselves. There's bad people doing bad things and getting away with it even more, even though that was the initial problem to begin with.
Yeah.
Like some bad people did something bad, and now a lot of bad people are doing a lot of bad things.
What I hate the most is the assumption of the worst intent. Yeah. For example,
there's no normal conversation.
Yeah. No. That is what I hate the most. For example, I'm a white person. Something bad happens to a black person. I don't do anything. Why are you not saying anything? I do something. Why are you playing a white savior? Okay. A black person does nothing. Why are you an Uncle Tom? A black person says anything. Why are you supporting the far leftists? And okay, they might be, but not necessarily. And I think that the best case study of that is the Baba Wallace situation. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, it's known.
Okay, but let me bring you a short circuit of assuming the worst intentions. So, Baba Wallace is a NASCAR driver. By the way, I don't follow NASCAR, like I don't follow any sport. It's simply not my thing. And in his garage, he sees a noose. No. Sorry. He sort of news are circling around that somebody has placed a noose in his garage, and he gives a statement. Immediately, there are two camps. One camp is like, oh, this is a horrible hate crime. NASCAR organizers side by him. His drivers put all these heartfelt messages and so on and so on. And then there are other people, again, assuming the worst in a different sort of way. Baba Smollett. Do you know about Jussie Smollett's situation? Okay. In the case you guys don't know, and it is a strange thing for a Serb to explain this to a primarily American audience, he was a black actor who wanted to raise his ratings by hiring two thugs, which were, by the way, black, to beat him up. And then he claimed that he got beat up in a hate crime, but that got found out.
And backfired.
And that backfired royally. And, again, people at that time were basing their support of him on the assumption that you wouldn't do that. Like
they swallowed it immediately.
Okay, but look at this. People start calling Baba like Baba Smollett, and then the sort of whole thing, and FBI gets involved in everything, and everything starts to unravel. It turns out that the noose was in that garage for like less than a year. The guy never went into that garage until, like, for example, that week, and it was simply there. So he didn't put it there himself. So it wasn't just a small situation. But it wasn't that he was promoting himself, because it was told to him by the organizers that they found a noose in his garage. So, like, it was simply maybe a rushed conclusion by white organizers. So, it wasn't like that the guy walked into his garage and saw a noose and was like, what? So, basically, everyone was in the wrong, but it was assuming the worst galore. And I'm generally not a person who comments on everyday situations, because I was like, let us wait until this.
But people can't relax on this.
No. People can't wait a day or two or a week to see where things go, and I think that a lot of hurt would be prevented by
absolutely avoided 100%.
Yeah.
People just take a chill pill, take a step back, and be like, okay, let's not rush to conclusions.
Yeah, and that is why it is important that proper investigations are done, and because there is malicious propaganda on both sides. I personally believe that the leftist propaganda is much stronger now because they basically have the entire entertainment industry in their nets, and I think that Jenna Marbles is one example of that. Like,
that's but those are the most ridiculous.
I know,
because I'm not a fan of Jenna Marbles, but I know she has harmless content. She has harmless content.
Yeah, no, but the issue with her is she's one of those people who really does not want to hurt anyone or anything. She's a vegan because she hates the concept of hurting animals, and she's one of very few vegans I know that's not obnoxious about their veganism. She talks about it like everyday stuff. She's not the type Holocaust in your plate. She's not that kind, and I have a respect for that. Okay, fine. That's your thing. You're not obnoxious about it. Do it. And she never made like some politically charged statements. Maybe something a little bit when she got sort of pressed, but nothing too much. And that is a good thing because somebody said it nice. Keep the politics out of entertainment. Movies should be escapism. Books should be escapism, or however you pronounce it.
All sorts of entertainment should be escaped.
In a way, because you do it to relax after a tiring day and after hearing a bunch of loud news. If
that fight for your attention in ways acceptable and unacceptable.
For example, if I was playing a video game and somebody approached me, I'm going to use our example. Do you want to participate in a procession against the Montenegrin persecution of the Orthodox Church? I'll be like, I mean, it's nice that you're socially engaged, but I really want to kill a vampire now. I mean, there is a time and place for everyone.
We need to do an episode on this because it's.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, we can get somebody from Montenegro to be a guest on the show.
But where will we find a Montenegrin in Belgrade?
in the biggest Montenegrin city in the world.
Belgrade? There's this great joke let
me say. So let me explain. So a lot of people from Montenegro studies in Belgrade, which is the capital of Serbia, was the capital of Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
Serbia and Montenegro were a part of Yugoslavia, and then a part of the country that was called Serbia and Montenegro. Before that, they were in a bigger Yugoslavia, blah, 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 blah. And even after the falling apart, if you want, which was rigged, just like that, ridiculous things. But even after separating into two different countries, Montenegrins would continue to study in Serbia for free.
Yeah. Basically. So they don't have to pay. They basically have the same conditions as locals.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a thing here in Belgrade. There is a place that we call the student city because it's basically like a block.
A huge campus.
A huge campus dedicated to having students there, basically hosting students while they're on their studies. And students from studying multiple things. I know that, for example, in a lot of countries, you have colleges that have their own. Campuses, exactly. So it's like a campus that is dedicated to that college. In Belgrade, you have campuses, but they're not directly related to a unique college. They are to the Belgrade University in general. So there's this running joke when what's the biggest Montenegrin city? The student city.
Yeah.
Because a lot of Montenegrins study in Belgrade.
Yeah, but there's also this joke a young Montenegrin is preparing to leave Montenegro for Washington. and they're at the airport, and his mother is crying, and his older brother says, "What are you crying about? He will come back. He's not going to Belgrade."
Yeah, by the way, some people in the United States burnt the Montenegrin flag because Montenegro, the title of the country, is racist.
Meaning basically Black Mountain.
Yes.
And I think that basically...
the translation of, which is a literal translation of the country's name, well, it's not. It's a translation to what language? Montenegro.
Maybe Italian. I don't even know what language is that.
So, dear Montenegro, please change your... unless you want to be cancelled, you guys need to change the way your country's called. I mean, Macedonians did it.
By the way, I think that every country in Europe practically has a Black Mountain, like Ariel. I mean, it's one of those names that simply get thrown around. And a Black Forest.
We can change, but you can't say Black Mountain. You need to say something dark, maybe. Dark Mountain. Or just change your name, guys.
No, you have to use something neutral, like Purple Mountain.
Or very nice people from the United States will cancel you.
Yeah. So, Em and I...
Back to Jenna Marbles.
No. I mean, we talked enough about her, and I really hope that she returns from her hiatus.
Jenna, we keep you in our hearts and prayers so that you get uncancelled. So that you uncancel yourself.
By the way, I think that she made a huge mistake with that apology. Not because she apologized for her...
If she means it, I
no,
don't care.
No. I'm pretty sure that she meant it.
Well, then okay.
Either that, or she deserves an Academy Award for for simply acting, because she did a perfect...
Oscar, maybe?
Academy Awards is Oscars.
It is?
Yeah. Okay, she deserves an Academy Award in Oscars. So anyway, but the thing is, now you have CNN, BBC, and other problematic media having news like Jenna Marbles apologizes for blackface, and my immediate thought is like that she was doing like some southern 19th century minstrel show where she appears like a caricature, which is a far cry from truth, and she was associated with that unnecessarily and by her own doing, and I feel so sorry for her, because I knew that I as somebody who has followed her through thick and thin for like maybe not exactly a decade, for a long time. Shut up. And I am too.
Jenna.
Yeah, I mean, I feel so sorry. Yeah, it's one of those too pure for this earth sorts of situations.
Oh, come on, you need to stop.
Shit.
Oh my god, you're such a fan. Oh,
yes.
It's disgusting.
I know.
It's disgusting. It's alarming, disturbing, creepy, and disgusting. Stalkery.
What's wrong if I have a lock of her hair?
In a golden frame. Look.
With her slamming on the glass, please let me go.
Can I say something real quick?
Absolutely not.
I spit on you.
I spit on
you. Okay, so in America, and it's becoming a thing in Europe as well, on Halloween, people dress up. But I guess people dress up in costumes for different occasions as well.
Yeah.
So is it racist if a white person dresses up like a black person?
Again, it really depends on the costume, but in general, I don't think so. For example, if it's not meant to mock black people.
Yeah, exactly.
And I believe...
But the problem is, people are going to be like, well, this automatically means you're mocking black people. This automatically means you're, I don't know. I don't really know. It's just, I don't understand.
I wouldn't be offended at all if a black person, painted themselves white and, acted a white person, like a specific, without the, I mean, I wouldn't be offended at all. Okay, but just a little caveat there. There wasn't a history of whiteface, so to speak, there were...
There's a thing now, Karen.
I can't. But I like Karen jokes.
No, I like them as well, but they're
basically that. Like they're mocking a primarily white stereotype.
Absolutely.
I mean, when I say a Karen, I never think of a black person ever.
No, it's obvious.
Yeah.
Come on, it's obvious, and it goes in the opposite direction, and nobody seems to be bothered by it.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing.
Yeah.
There's no difference between. But then there was no slavery. Okay, let me tell you something. I'm white.
Oh, wow.
And
he's coming out of the closet.
No.
He's white.
Nobody from our history, basically, as deep as you can go, was ever a slaver.
Slave owner.
Slaver. Slave is the same thing. So I don't know. Slaver might be the one who was selling slaves. We don't even know that, but okay.
I will judge that. I'm simply curious.
I played Fallout.
Okay, there's your scholarly reference. Oh yeah, there are slavers there.
Yeah, exactly.
So we can use it. Okay.
Yeah, we can use it. So my point is, you could be offending me. Why would you offend me? Don't do it. Don't say Karen. I mean, say whatever you want. Like let's
it's a funny meme.
Yeah,
it's a funny meme.
If it's fun, like why are we making such a fuss about it?
Want to dress up as a Serbian? Go for it. Paint yourself white and dress our nošnja, our traditional garb. Go for it. I'll take pictures with you. I find it funny.
Yeah, we'll laugh alongside you. And you know what's also interesting? We don't usually laugh at racist jokes. Like even those that are very racist, it's not that funny. And that's the thing. People seem to be accusing people of racism who can't even be, who are incapable of being racist.
Yeah.
Like there's no history behind it. There's no context to justify it, and there's absolutely no intention.
Yeah.
But then again, you could again be perceived as racist.
And that's the thing. Unless there's ill intent, unless you honestly believe that the other person is of lower value or something because they're of a different race regarding that's simply racism. And of course, this is. I think that people are reading too much into. For example, if somebody acts a black character, that means that they're racist. No, they're just playing a black character, and that's fine. That's literally fine.
I think we spoke about this in one of the previous episodes. But one time I was visiting my friend in Sweden, and Sweden is a very specific country, and they're very, if we're talking about political correctness, these guys wrote the book.
Like Alfred.
It's extremely boring, but okay. And then I was visiting. We were playing this board game, and one of the friends of my best friend, who I was visiting, brought his girlfriend, and she was from.
She was a racist.
No, she was a black girl from. Was it Colombia or Nicaragua? I don't know.
Okay.
I think it was Colombia, actually. I think it was Colombia, and I couldn't remember her name. So at some point. During the evening, I wanted to ask her something, and I couldn't remember. Then I was like, sorry, Colombia, can you... And it's like people turned towards me like I said the F word and threw a water balloon at her. Like, I don't get it. Like, is that really, really racist? Like, somebody told me, hey, Serbia, like, can you add me? And they have told me. That did happen when I.
Hey, here.
No, seriously, man. Come on. Let's be realistic.
Okay.
How the hell is that racist? What element of that is racist?
Okay. Did they tell you that's racist or?
Yes, you did.
I did.
No.
Okay.
No, my best friend.
Okay.
Spoke to me later on. I was a bit embarrassed when you said that. I was like, seriously?
Okay, I have. I have to say it. I understand why they were offended because...
she wasn't offended.
Oh, okay, that's different. I mean, listen.
First of all, why would she? Come on, do explain it to me. Let's say I'm an ignorant fool. Obviously, this was not intended race. So let's ignore...
Okay, no.
Let's ignore my intent.
Okay.
and just analyze what happened.
Well,
Come on.
I would say that you're a little bit brash, but that's about it. Not. I would own you if I could. Which is like.
Sorry, what's racist about me saying, "Hey, Colombia"?
Okay.
You know, there could be white people from Colombia as well. You know that.
Is that racist to say out loud?
What?
That there could be white people in Colombia.
No, there are white people. Look at Shakira. Is she like black? She's some mix, right?
We should disable
Very
the like
light-
and dislike.
Very light. She's very light colored.
Okay. I don't know. I didn't pay attention.
That's the point. I don't pay attention.
Okay.
It's irrelevant to me.
Okay, but somebody might argue that because you have never experienced racism, that you can't detect it.
So I did something racist without knowing it.
No,
that's
honestly, I don't believe. No.
That's the point. I don't get racism because I don't feel that way. I don't understand people who feel that way. And to me, it's like ridiculous that I can't say, "Hey, Colombia," to a female person who is of black skin color and is from Colombia.
Okay,
Why?
okay. I think
I
no.
didn't remember the name.
I think that's a different. There's a different issue at play here. It is generally rude. It's generally rude to forget people's names, but people generally give you a pass because everybody forgets names.
Oh, come on! When I'm meeting somebody,
I haven't
I
finished.
always remember one name, and that's mine, because I say, "Hi, my name is Milos," and I don't remember the other person. It's so common.
But
okay.
but
I'm
I
taking a
think
chill
I
pill.
think
Okay.
that I think that the problematic part is
Super
you
annoying.
using something else to refer to her, like "Hey, Colombia." I wouldn't call that racist. I mean, if somebody called me "Hey, Serbia," again, it really would.
What? Would you be offended?
Well, I wouldn't, but maybe somebody would, and you need to be canceled.
Come on,
forever.
you're on a table. You're at a table.
like
No,
like
come
a
on.
pig.
You're at a table,
Okay.
and there's people from Serbia that are Serbians. You have somebody from Sweden who's a Swede, and you have somebody from Colombia.
Okay.
And it's a problem to say somebody, "Hey, Swede," is that a problem?
Well, again, the only problem I see there is because you did not know that girl, and maybe you were
Okay.
that too informal with her. But again, I wouldn't call it racist because, again, you would. I know you.
I'm a friendly person. I'm an extrovert. She could. I mean,
Maybe she wasn't an extrovert, and I think that's the issue. Maybe she's not
well,
as extroverted
okay,
as you
let
are.
me, let me be very clear. There is a 100,000,000 ways you could hurt my feelings.
That's true.
And that goes for every single person ever.
Like his fashion
and-
sense. Like, did you iron that?
And being like uber political, you can't ever be fully politically correct because you can't always know and feel, and in a specific situation
And
and
read
context,
minds.
it's impossible. So, it's one thing to offend somebody because you have ill intent and you're like, but it's a whole different thing when you're like just being casual, relaxed. We're drinking beer.
Listen, guys, the steps towards creating the problem are simple. First, assume ill intent. Well, this guy must be a racist because he called me Colombia. Then,
But she was very nice. We had a very nice conversation.
Okay, I'm
Such
just
a nice moment.
I know. You guys had a special moment and everybody ruined it. Then reject the apology. Like, his apology wasn't good enough, and
no, it was insincere.
It was insincere, and so on, and keep requesting that they get
Admit to being
out
racist.
of their way to bend over backwards. Again, I have to. There's this great South Park episode when Stan Marsh goes on Jeopardy.
Oh, nice.
That episode.
You know what? There's a Simpson episodes for everything. I just
Yeah.
realized that.
Yeah.
Longest running sitcom in history.
And guys, that episode, that first scene, I was laughing so hard because, and especially his justification of the act. Now Stan remembered that Dad only did that because he thought that he would win a lot of money. So he's not a racist. He's just an imbecile. You don't need to assume the worst. Try assuming just bad. Like maybe other person's stupid or too direct or from Serbia.
Let me give you this. Let me give you this. Even though majority of people there
Yeah.
were kind of in accordance, well, the people afterwards were in accordance that was like rude of me to do. I still disagree.
Okay.
It's my prerogative. It's my right to disagree with it. I did like understand that somebody might perceive it like that, and I was ready to apologize if I offended anybody, which is normal. This means being a normal human being. Like I offended you.
Yeah.
I did not want to offend you. I apologize if my actions made you feel bad. But
okay, this is a staple of what they would call insincere apologies. I'm sorry if what I said made you feel that way.
What's the problem with that?
No. Because you should apologize for what you said, because you were a racist or something, and not why other person felt that way, because then you're apologizing for how that person felt, not the damage that you wanted to cause.
But that is the point. There is 100 million ways you could hurt somebody, because it's actually up to them, up to their perception of whatever you say or do, and that is the whole problem. Everybody, that is the whole problem. That's it. It's just how you feel or how I feel, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's just basic stuff.
Yeah.
So unless you turn on your brain, put it in speed, and try to not leave your emotions aside, but just reflect on them, and remember that on the other end there's a human being.
Yeah.
Then things might actually be a bit better in the world. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think people are born, each and every one of us is born good, albeit with the parent sin kind of built in, but it activates and follows us throughout our lives.
And you can't escape from it regardless of what utopists say. Seriously, like... You can't.
But it's like everything else. We got our intelligence. We got everything we are, our hands and feet and minds and the things we can do. We got that with our genes. Yeah. So we also got the bad stuff.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. It's the whole package. This is life for you. So I guess what I'd like to conclude with is just that, guys. Let's be reasonable.
Yeah.
Let's remember that we should love our neighbor. That we should love one another. And if we look at things from that perspective, we might even be able to digest the fact that we have the devil running our country, for example.
Yeah, I mean, there is always a devil trying to, increase the conflict, increase the division between people, to tear us apart.
The devil nowadays recruit the racist demons, the demons that yell racist and everything,
Well, I mean, there are racists. I don't deny that. I mean, like,
obviously.
With history such as US, of course that you will have a heritage. And but that is something that you deal with.
Sorry, but a lot of people who built the United States were slavers.
Yeah. So, I mean, but I also believe that they have...
they did good things as well, for sure.
Yeah, and that in creating the land in the way they did, they allowed for slavery to be cancelled. And
I can't look at it. I can't. It's hard for me at this age and stage and this time that we live in to justify slavery.
I'm not justifying it at all.
I know that even in the Bible you read about slavery. The apostles address slavery and address how slaves should behave. So there was slavery. It was acceptable at some point in time, but to me personally, it's not, and I can't find a way to justify it even in the past.
But that is why theology is so important. Like, if you have your holy book that starts that lets us create man in our image, how can you own a person? And I believe that that line essentially ended slavery in the long run.
Yeah.
And thank God for that.
It's like the top argument against slavery. Like we are all created in God's image.
Yeah.
So how can person A be in any way superior to person B? It's because we are all created in His image.
Yeah.
There's no lower tier race or something like that. It's just a matter of like situation where you had the colonial countries very strong, very at power, and you had the people of Africa and the people of the natives in America as well, completely unprepared to deal with that.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Okay, and I have to say, in some cases, like Aztecs, colonials coming wasn't really the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if somebody tells me you have to pray to this piece of bread and is like, also you don't need to sacrifice people alive by plucking out their hearts, I will be, I like this. I like this a lot. I mean, of course, colonialism has such a bad luggage behind it, but in some cases, thing with colonialism, it was bound to happen somehow, that is simply how people work, sadly.
You can't change history.
Yeah.
You can't change how things evolved.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing you can do is you can live in the now properly.
Yeah.
Properly. And make sure that the legacy that you leave behind is better.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work if we are constantly attacking each other.
Yeah.
That cannot work.
Mm.
Know this. If there's no love in what you're doing, that's the heritage you're going to leave a heritage of hate. Period.
Even if it's for the best of reasons.
Yeah,
for tolerance.
Sure.
For unity, for brotherhood.
No. Sorry, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, no.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that people are, let's end racism, and then they go and loot, burn, pillage, yell at people, cancel show. No, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. No, sorry. I'm sorry. We apologize if our words or sentences offended anybody.
Also, we're not.
No, if there's a different perspective, I'd be open to discuss.
Oh yeah, of course.
And hear.
Yeah, of course.
Even if somebody wants to like join an episode and tell us you guys know nothing and you're wrong, I'm open to it as well.
Feel free.
Just remember, we're two guys from Serbia.
So we might be a bit, detached. So bear that in mind.
Yes, and give us a bit of a like
perspective.
Give us perspective. Like, why not? I'm open-minded.
He's so open-minded that his brains fell out.
Thank you for being a part of this episode.
If you watched till this point.
Yes. Share, like, subscribe. We have a Patreon, and that's it.
Like, don't dislike. That should be our slogan.
Like, don't dislike. We can make something that then we play in every video of you saying something like that.
Yeah, but then we would have to Photoshop a different shirt.
Yeah, how come you never change?
Bye.
Bye.